Greetings, salutations, and belated Happy New Year, everybody. This is Comic Book Hangover. It is Thursday, which means once again, and for the first time in 2022, it is time for my weekly haul, weekly review video. And I am feeling better after my Monday video with my Marvelous box. I was feeling a little bit more under the weather. Bit of a concern that it might have been COVID. Took the test. It's not COVID. Moving on with other things. So I still have a bit of a raspiness in my voice. I still got a little scratchiness in my throat. So I'm going to get through this as easy and as clearly as I can. So let's just jump into the books that I grabbed last week. And of course, I kind of brought back something that I used to do a long time ago, where I would put all my new weekly books up on the wall. Actually, I had this whole thing here was all comics. There was 3 more there, but because of the way I have it set up now, new backdrop, so I can show off some more of my books. So as the weeks go on, this is going to be filled up with recent books, from previous weeks, and then as I get new books, they're all going to go there. So the ones I'm going to talk about next are going to be up there next week. The Dark Hawks, the Garbage Pail Kids, and Marvel Comics Presents. Those are just basically fillers until I'm able to fill it with more recent stuff, and those ones as well. All right, so let's just jump into the books that I picked up last week that I feel compelled to talk about. So the first one, and as always, no particular order. So the first one's going to be Power Rangers number 14. And I'm going to start, kind of continue doing this too, not bagging them and boarding them until I'm done talking about it. Because I think the covers kind of show up a little bit better if they don't have that plastic laminate on them, All right, so Power Rangers number 14. The main thing about this one is, it does continue the Altarian War, which has been a great story. It's been a lot of fun, really exciting. It's nice seeing the Omega Rangers and the Power Rangers getting together. What's really awesome, though, is seeing Zordon actually getting a body. Let's see here. I know Zordon getting a body. And not only that, kicking some major butt. I mean, this guy, he's as he says in here, since day one, he's been wanting to fight side by side with the Rangers, and now he finally gets to do it. But unfortunately, he's having to fight against his own people. So, really, aside from that, I mean, it's a great story. We get to see the Zed's villains joining the Rangers to try to fight and fight the bad guys and defend the planet Earth and save it from being destroyed. We see Zordon going to the moon, trying to get the Zeo crystal, to try to get that to a safe place or destroy it. It's just like everything is coming together, and then Zed shows up again. I knew he wasn't dead, but he shows up, and so I think the next issue of Power Rangers, we're going to have a knockdown drag out between Zed and Zordon. It's going to be a lot of fun, but that was a lot. That was a great read. It was nice seeing Zordon actually getting some action. Next one, this one's going to be kind of quick. This is Timeless. It's a one-shot. Marvel has been doing this past couple of years where they do a one-shot at the end of the year that kind of sets up a lot of the major stories are going to be happening the following year. They did one that, I think this past year, they did one that had, dude had some weird Eternity mask or Infinity mask or whatever. It was kind of dumb. It was a mess. It was kind of cool in the sense that if that's the one, if I'm remembering right, they had different people doing the different pages or whatever, but it was kind of a mess. It was pretty forgetful and very uneventful, and it did Dark Ages and all that fun stuff, but whatever. It was kind of pointless. This one here, of course, we got Kang the Conqueror, and the only reason why Kang the Conqueror is getting any kind of screen time in comics is because he's going to be in the movie, and we all know that the only reason why Marvel pushes any characters anymore is because they're getting a movie or a TV show. They don't actually seem to care about the characters enough to push them without outside media supporting it. It's kind of sad because Kang is kind of a cool character, but this story actually works. He works really well in this one because he's going through different times and different eras. He comes across, he discovers that there is he calls it a pirate timeline that was separated from the main 616 timeline in order to, protect the main timeline that was supposed to be just sort of disintegrate, just be destroyed. But something happened and it wasn't destroyed. So he goes to investigate it, and it's not really fully destroyed, and so that might be a storyline later this year where this pirate timeline tries to intersect again with the main timeline. You also get the whole Thanos with the Infinity Mjolnir and a bunch of other stuff. So it was a neat read. It actually was pretty coherent. It was a good showcase for Kang. Kind of really gives if you're not familiar with the character and his temperament, it is cool to kind of it's a good introduction to the character and the way he sees himself and sees other people around him. The only thing I really didn't like was they show him without his outfit on, and one of the things that that was always kind of cool about Kang is you always kind of assume that his outfit, this blue and purple thing that he has on his head, that kind of was his skin. And something happened, maybe that was his race or whatever. But now he's human, and he's got dark hair and chest hair and all this crap. It would have been nice to not have that, but Marvel isn't really much for maintaining any kind of mystique with their characters anymore. They just kind of want to water everything down, and I don't know what their game plan is. But anyway, moving on. Timeless was worth reading though. It was good. Stray Dogs, Dog Days. Of course, I got the Creep Show cover. This one, it says 6 all new tales. It feels like there was more in here, but I guess there was just 6 in here, and it's just kind of showing how the dogs ended up with that killer. And if anybody who's read the original Stray Dog story knows that it was about this guy who goes around killing women that have dogs, and he takes their dogs, and they explain that the dogs have sort of a short memory, so they don't really remember their previous owners after so long, and they think that the murderous master has been their master for forever. And this you're kind of getting sort of backstories, origins, and finding out how these puppies and how these dogs ended up in the clutches of their murderous master. And it was good. I mean, it's very consistent. Where the dogs that were presented in the main story and the main Stray Dogs, their characters are consistent. The artwork's consistent. I mean, everything is exactly what you need it to be in order for it to be a good sort of spin-off prequel type thing. So it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel forced. It feels like it belongs, and that's what I like about that sort of stuff. It's great. This one I'm just going to say it's worth reading. Good Boy, number 2. I wasn't sure if the second issue was going to hold up against the first issue, but man, did it ever. A lot of fun. Do recommend it. I guess, if you are a fan of John Wick, that might be something for you, but if you like a movie, if you like a comic book about a anthropomorphic dog that's going to go out and kick ass because they killed his master, that's the book for you. Really fun. A lot of fun. The last one from last week is going to be The Death of Doctor Strange, number 4 of 5. This is going to be wrapping up here in a couple of weeks. I think next week we have the Bloodstone one-shot that I've been waiting for, and then we're going to wrap it up with number 5 of this. So, this one here we found out that Baron Mordo was not the one who killed Doctor Strange, and, he does sort of an Agatha Christie style, Murder on the Orient Express type thing where he's gathers all of the suspects around in the one room and tries to say I know who did it, and then of course the ultimate bad guys show up towards the end. So this has been actually a really good read. I haven't read much Marvel over the past couple of years because I've been really sort of disillusioned with the way that they have been, the way that Marvel has been allowing its newer writers to inject their own personal social politics into comic books, something I don't believe belongs. I mean, I know comic books have always been political, but comic books have always been, basically general politics, but not like social politics. Racism is bad, that sort of stuff. What we're getting now is personal politics, and it started in 2016 because certain people didn't like certain election results, and it's ridiculous, it's petty, it's pathetic, it's stupid, and it needs to stop. It's destroying Marvel in my opinion. But this was actually been a pretty good story, and I know it's leading into Clea taking over as Sorcerer Supreme. I'm really curious as to how that's going to work. I guess she's Sorcerer Supreme of the Dark Dimension, and I'm very curious. I'm very curious as to how that's going to translate into Doctor Strange's station, and because he's he's Sorcerer Supreme, I guess, over everything. So it'd be cool to see how Clea transitions into that, how she handles, being on that level. I don't think she's ever been on that level before, but it's also going to be interesting to see what happens when Doctor Strange eventually does return. Is he going to get the mantle of Sorcerer Supreme back right away, or is it going to be sort of a gradual thing? Is Clea going to be, I don't want, all this crap on my shoulders, you can take it back sort of thing? I don't know, but I have enjoyed the death of Doctor Strange. I've only read the main story. I haven't read any of the spin-offs because I'm tired of spin-off stuff except for Bloodstone. But I am very interested in Strange. The new Clea series is starting here in a couple of months. So that's what I got last week. And of course, I also got the Power Rangers universe, which was sort of it's going to be the origin of the Phantom Ranger. And I got to tell you, the first issue, the main reason why I didn't want to talk about it, the first issue was kind of a mess. I mean, we're being introduced to all these new characters, which is fine. But the problem is some of these characters look the same, and it's hard to distinguish between who's talking and who's where and what's going on. But it's a 6-issue miniseries, which means we got plenty of time to flesh things out. Not everything's going to make sense in the first issue. Got all these new characters and new concepts being introduced. So I'm going to give it a couple more issues to see what happens. And hopefully I enjoy it by issue 3, and I'm going to take it through issue 6. Of course, Robin is still doing pretty good, but we really need to wrap up this Lazarus Island storyline because it's getting tired. This issue, it had some great stuff in it, but really nothing worth making it like a spotlight. And the Patrick Gleason cover of Timeless Spider-Man 2099. Everybody's talking about that cartoon clock one. Have no interest in a cartoon clock, but I love me some Spider-Man 2099, and Patrick Gleason did an amazing job on that cover. He really knocked it out of the park. All right, so let's get into the books that I picked up this week. And of course, before I do that, if you're enjoying my videos and you like what I'm doing, please like, comment, subscribe, and share the videos. I do this every Thursday, and I'm going to be working on bringing back some other videos and doing some other things on here as time goes on. And, I'm able to put stuff together. So I'm rearranging my room as well, trying to get it cleaned up, trying to, figure out what I'm going to put where and all that sort of stuff. And we're also making room and arrangements for the new baby who we've decided the name Parker. Parker John is going to be his first and middle name. He's going to be joining us in April or May. His due date is in April, but his older brother was early, so there's always a possibility that Parker might show up early as well. Might be an early release, you never know. So that aside, let's go ahead and go through the books that I picked up this week, starting and of course, again, in no particular order, because that's always fun that way. Starting with Noctera, Blacktop Bill Special. This Blacktop Bill character is creepy as hell, and I'm very interested to see where the heck this guy came from. I love this cover, so grab that one. And my little boy was like, ooh, when he saw this cover. He liked this cover because it's Elvira meets Vincent Price. Number 4, I think this might be a 5-issue miniseries. So I grabbed that cover because it's Elvira. And actually, he saw this cover too. He really liked this cover. I don't know what it is about it. I like the coloring on it. I think the coloring on it is just fantastic. Basilisk number 6. The coloring on that one is amazing. I don't know what it is about it, but I absolutely love the coloring. And my little boy liked it too. So that's 2 thumbs up for that. This one came out, I think it was released last week, but my LCS sold out, and they were able to get another copy from me. This is the Marvel Tales, The Last Avenger Story. Collecting Last Avenger Story, I think issues 1 and 2. The other thing about these is they're solicited as Marvel Tales. They're pushed as Marvel Tales, but they don't put it in. They stop putting it on the cover, which is kind of weird because I would like to be able to put these all under Marvel Tales, but since it's not actually on the cover, it's going to end up going alphabetical, which is it's fine. It's whatever. I grabbed this Acosta cover for Elvira meets Vincent Price. Because I got to have at least 2 covers for this one. It's Elvira, it's Vincent Price, gotta love it. So I got to have that one. Grab that one, and finally, Hellcop number 3. So I actually had to make a second trip to my LCS to grab this one since I wasn't feeling very well. My My lovely and gracious wife volunteered to go down to my LCS and pick up my books for me. Hellcop isn't on my pull list yet, so I was able to go down there today and grab that. But I'm going to read this issue, and this one will be the deciding factors on whether or not it's going to go on my pull list or not. But that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to have to wrap this up. I think my voice is starting to get a little strained here. So I'm going to wrap this up. Everybody, thanks for watching. I hope everybody had a great New Year's and a great new comic book day yesterday. There was a lot of great books that came out. I mean, I've only buy a couple of them, but there's a lot of amazing books coming out. And I know next week we got the final issue of Darkhawk coming in, and the first issue of Scorch, the big highly anticipated team up of all the Spawn characters from Todd McFarlane and Image. I will be picking up the first issue of that. I don't know what cover I'm going to grab. I'll make that decision on the fly. I'm not going to have my LCS pull any of the covers for me or anything. I'm just going to go down there, and whatever's left is what I'm going to make my decision from, because to me that's the easiest way to do it. I'll pick what out of whatever's left. But that'll be for next week. Again, everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out my video. Again, if you like what I'm doing, click that like button, subscribe, comment, share, all that fun stuff. And I will see everybody next week, Thursday, with another weekly haul, weekly review video. Have a great weekend.